All right, peace, peace, Ali. And I should be live now. It's a slight delay, so go ahead and press 9 if you're watching this live. Press 9 in the chat. Let me know you can hear me and see me momentarily. Everyone joining live, and also welcome to everyone watching the recording. 9 in the chat box if you can see me and hear me. All right, cool, cool, cool. I don't need any more confirmations. We good. Welcome to everyone. Doing this real simple, man. You got questions? I'm gonna answer them. Something I do exclusively for my flagship program, Spiritual Mastery Accelerator, accelerator.com. We do a monthly Q&A. I call it Mastermind Q&A, but this is something I've wanted to do for a while. Every time I do a live broadcast, there's mad questions. Everyone an opportunity to dialogue with me, ask me questions. So I don't have a presentation, like I normally do. It's just straight question and answers. Show y'all this thing works. Depending on how fast the board is, I may not be able to keep track of all the questions. I know that's normally how it goes down. Let's answer a question. I'll just read a question that's next or whatever. I'm not going through and all the list or whatever. I'll say next question and I'll read it so you put your question up. I do have a few questions that people post on my Facebook. I did not check it in the past half an hour, so I do have a few questions I want to start out with. And also, I got something for y'all. Doing a giveaway for one of my books, On Purpose Manual, How to Find Your Life's Calling Today. This book is about 2 years old now. Deity Linkage Manual, How to Find Your Gods and Goddesses Using Numerology. Both are available on Amazon or l9shop.com. That's the number 9shop.com. And this is how it's going to work. And I want to announce it for my early people that's here, that's rocking out with the God early. Before I end the YouTube live broadcast, based on the answer I gave on a previous question, basically, if you're watching, take notes. The way I'm gonna ask a question. Pardon me. First person to answer of your book, Noun Purpose Manual or Deity Linkage Manual. As long as you live in the U.S., you for free, and I'll autograph it for you. All right. So that's simple. Answer a question, get a free book. Just something I want to do. Just give away a little something. So let me answer the first few questions I got. How can you assure Earth don't get attached to yourself or things when you are doing ancestor altar work? How can you make sure earthbound spirits don't get attached to yourself or things when you're doing your ancestor altar work? Something I've covered before, but the simple suggestion I always say is when you're giving your offering, that's who you're giving your offering to. So if you have an ancestor altar, obviously you're giving it to your bloodline. So for me, an example, I would say for my Myers family, own family, I would take my maternal and my paternal bloodline, and I say this offering is for the ancestors for my Myers family, Stone family. You can also say this is for my ancestors, both known and unknown. But as long as you're directing the energy and you have the appropriate things on your altar, like your own ancestors' pictures or their name written down on a book or piece of paper, you basically have it constructed for your ancestors. You're talking to them, like giving your offering, you're addressing it to them. That's usually enough to prevent any other earthbound spirits from connecting to you or your altar. The reason why you have an ancestor altar is so your ancestors that have crossed over have an opportunity to get fed besides feeding off other people. So, truth be told, and I'll close with this, is that you have to worry about, especially earthbound spirits, as far as connecting to you. So, more than likely, if you have an ancestor altar, you don't have to worry about the biggest threat to your energy, which are your ancestors when they cross over. Simple answer is dedicate the ancestor altar to your bloodline and make sure you're addressing them when you give an offering. Next question. Can you burn ancestor money for the gods? This is another thing that may be controversial. I used to burn ancestor money to the gods all the time, and it's the same process with the ancestors. Some ancestor money or Joel's paper to Tahuti. I would say this is for Tahuti. Yes, you can give ancestor money to the gods. They also have Joel's paper that is gold and silver, which a lot of people in that culture like to give that offering to the deities, the gold paper, Joel's paper. And the way I look at it, I had someone ask me a question, Richard Buller, shout out to him. He said, "Why do I burn ancestor money for the gods?" And I told him on Facebook, I was like, "It's just another offering. It's another way of giving an offering to the deities, ancestor money to the gods for show." All right, last question. This is a pre-question that I'll get to the chat box. The person has no knowledge of their ancestors for altar work. This person has no knowledge of their ancestors for the altar work. Question on my YouTube as well, so hopefully they're seeing this. If you don't know who your ancestors are, I recommend that you get a plant or something, and you can dedicate that to your entire bloodline, to your roots, so to speak. I recommend a plant or a tree, something that has roots. You can designate that to your ancestors. Doesn't matter if you don't know their name or met them, doesn't matter anything. And be like, this is for my ancestors unknown. So when you address your altar, you will say, this is for my ancestors unknown. But that tree will represent your entire bloodline. That's something very simple you can do. All right. Chat bots, and appreciate everybody for tuning in. So I'm just going to start with the first question I see. Hey, what up? What up, Nicole? Do you have any info or knowledge of any books in regards to the African deity energies, such as Oshun? Something simple as like Orishas in Amazon, and probably find a book. I'm sure there's probably a book that's speaking specifically about the Orishas or African deities, especially with Oshun. She's an Orisha. So I would look at a book that deals with the Orishas. Also, I always recommend, because I'm a freestyle spiritualist, I'm not called on African, Kemetic, Egyptian, American. I know all the deities came from one source. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? No matter how it turned about. Tahuti, if you look at the deity Tahuti, he's also called Thoth as far as Europe. He's called Quetzalcoatl with the Mesoamerica. So Tahuti, Thoth, and Quetzalcoatl are all the same energy. Depending on what culture, they're going to call them by a different name. So because I'm a freestyle spiritualist, I understand that there's only one true energy, but they have different names as far as the deities. Always recommend the book Encyclopedia of Spirits by Judica Iles, Iles, I believe is her last name. But yeah, as far as Orishas, go look at Amazon and go to Amazon books and just put in Orishas. I'm sure you'll find a few books on that. Like, is it okay to wear at times? Yeah, I wouldn't say. Let me say this: some people actually have bad experience with Motivite. Me personally, I love Motivite. You know, you go into my YouTube channel, I have a video called my first ET experience in Motivite. So I was rocking Motivite when I had my first contact with a specific extraterrestrial group. So me personally, I love Motivite. But I've had people that have come to me said they've had a lot of negative experience surrounding Motivite. The latter, where you're having unfavorable results with that stone, then I personally wouldn't rock it. But if you like the stone, you meditate with it, it's pretty to you, whatever, you're drawn to it, then I don't see any reason why you can't rock it. Okay, how do we clear out karmic debt? The simplest and easiest thing to clear out karmic debt is via your ancestor altar and burning ancestor money. This is something I've spoken about for years now, made many videos. At this point, I would assume we're probably the biggest supplier in North America as far as ancestor money. Now that may be a big claim, but we sell a lot of ancestor money. So I'm highly qualified to speak about this. From my experience, personal, and from the people that I've suggested it to, from the being that told me about altar ancestor money, Master Dr. Mitchell Gibson, Tyro.com. From all my source and experience, burning ancestor money on a regular basis is the easiest way to deal with karmic debt. Because when you're in addition, that debt gets sprinkled down to the generation that's left. Ancestor money, what I've noticed with myself, I just speak with me personally, it started to switch my poverty consciousness. I started to go from I can't afford that, I'm gonna wait till I have money for that, to I get whatever the hell I want. You know what I'm saying? Like I pay myself first. I don't pay bills first. Different mindset, and that's showing you that that poverty consciousness is being melted away. Money, you can take it out of theory. That's why I love doing rituals for money, because if you have $1,000 you're making a week, and now you do a ritual, and now you're bringing home $1,500 a week, it's working for you. So money is measurable. So with this question, I don't have to take it philosophical. I'm saying burn ancestor money. Go to my website, l9shop.com, the number 9shop.com. Look at the ancestor money. Get your starter pack, something to start out with. Burn that ancestor money every day. Do it for at least 30 or 60 days. I did it every day for years. But I've noticed that people are having experience when they do it every day for as little as a month. But this is something that's going to prove to you that it works, and that if you see it works, then you'll know for sure that that helps you break down your karmic debt. Looking for a question. All right, the last question I see. I just started recently doing offerings and altar work in the knowledge of my ancestors and my mother. I recently noticed 11 on my stomach that wasn't there before me. What can this mean? Information. What I always suggest for people when they're doing their altar work is if you have your altar set up correctly, you're giving regular offerings, you're speaking to the ancestors, what I call prayers or words spoken. Usually you will have a confirmation within 30 days. Whatever reason, they like to get a confirmation to us very quickly. Some people notice it in dreams, some people have signs and synchronicities. With you, it's more like a sign. If I had 1111 written on my stomach and I just put it on my altar, that is confirmation that they hear your request and they're rocking with you. Does the size of the actual money matter? I know you sell bigger sizes in different colors. The way that I look at it, and this is from my own personal experience, it seems like when you invest more in your ancestor money, better results. So usually the higher denominations are more expensive. So usually it yields quicker results, so to speak. Look at it as our money. Is $1 worth more than $5? So you're investing into the Jaws paper, so it's going to be the equivalent of what you invest in. Can you burn ancestor money without an altar? Some people do. I don't recommend it. The whole point of ancestor money is for the altar. It's your bridge between this reality and the spirit world, between the physical reality and the spirit world. Your altar is right in the middle. So the point of burning your money at the altar and giving offerings, prayers, speaking to the ancestors by your altar is because it's going to get to them quicker. I don't recommend that you burn ancestor money outside or away from your altar, but you can do whatever you feel. But you ask me, I would say no. Zeno, the ancestor money works. At this point, I ain't got to sell it. Like, just go to my video, see what everybody else is talking about. Is there a good number date to do altar work? Good number date, I recommend you do it every day. Give an offering and say a prayer every day at the altar. As far as a number, I mean that's basically you doing a freestyle thing. So I would pick a number that resonates with you. If your number, say you like the number two, 2 day, the 11th, which is a two, the 20th, which is a two, the 29th, which is a two. way, but I don't recommend you do it like that. I recommend you burn it. You do offerings every day, or at least on a regular basis. Hey, what up, Alicia? Is there a metaphysical view on black holes? Very interesting question. When you say a metaphysical view, my mind automatically corresponds metaphysics to quantum mechanics. So is there a quantum mechanics or a quantum physics view on black holes? And I would have to say yes. As far as Google, black holes are let me just keep it. Let me stay in my lane. Black holes are like portals. Black hole that's in your body. Let's take this from a physical standpoint. As above, so below. When you look at the law of correspondence, as above, so below. By studying what's down here going on in the heavens, and what is the black hole that we have in our body? In our body, the pineal gland, your third eye or your first eye, called the ajna chakra, or the brow chakra. So the black hole that you have in your body is the third eye. So what does the third eye do? It allows you to go out, allows your soul to go out, and allows you to come in. Cone, because it spirals in and spirals out. You study the shape of the spiral. The spiral has always been associated with things coming and things going. So there's no accident that the pineal gland is also shaped as a spiral. So when you look at black holes, something that allows you to come and go. So it's a theory, and this is something that I can't prove for sure, but it's a postulation or theory that extraterrestrials, in order to get to our dimension, they travel through black holes. So they can get from a far away solar system, travel through a black hole, and get here a lot quicker as opposed to traveling, which may take years or lifetimes or whatever. Black holes are like portals. And if you want to look at a point of reference on Earth, look at your pineal gland. You must be somewhere else. Good night. It's 12:21 over here in the east. I'm in Ohio. Good night. When do you do a petition or request for something? How long do you wait? Is it if it seems not to work, do you repeat it, or does that cancel the original request? Present one of my videos where I suggest on how to give a petition to the altar. What I suggest is after your altar is energized, you have a live living altar. You have been given offerings. You have been prayers. Your altar is alive. You have your confirmation that the ancestors and or deities hear your request. They're rocking with you. You feel comfortable that your altar is up to speed, so to speak. That point is you can do what I call giving a petition to the ancestors and or deities. And that's simply you're going to them with a request. Like, say you have a bill that's coming up next week. You know you ain't gonna have the cheese for it. You know your money's short or whatever. So you go to the altar, like I'm putting in a petition to the ancestors and deities. Something like I want to get my bill paid that I don't have enough money for. I'm asking that you supply me with this as quickly as possible. Whatever you got to say, just come from the heart. That's why I'm stumbling with the words. The words don't matter. Coming from the heart matters. So you put in a petition. From my own experience, when I do that, when I put in a petition for the ancestors and deities, because I've been doing my altar work for so long, I know my altar is powerful. So very quickly, and whatever I'm asking for gets very quickly. I want to say 90% of the time. But the trick is I don't do petitions all the time. I might ask for a petition or something specific at the altar maybe once every 2 or 3 months. It's been months since the last time I put in a petition. So if you're asking for something every day, or if you're asking for something that may require a lot more time and effort, like I want $1 million and I want it by next week, get that. But if you're putting in a petition, you have a time sensitive issue, you're going to get it very quickly as long as it's something that's in line with your karma, something you're not asking for that's way beyond your means or whatever. If you have to do it again, I would say that that's either something you don't need at the time or your altar is not energized enough. All right. right, looking for the next one. Looking for the next one. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure to thumbs up the video if this is resonating with you. All right, hold on. Do you really need to burn? Do you really need to burn ancestor money? I've been trying to find this out in African tradition. Can you further explain? I'll join link. Thank you. Ancestor money. I think I made a video about cultures and ancestor money. I'm pretty sure I did. If you don't feel like you need to do it, don't do it. Once again, my job is not here to talk anyone into anything. If you just follow me or just connecting with me, let me say this very clearly. I'm into selling anyone anything or convincing anyone of anything. What I simply do and what I've always done since I started is I share things that have worked for me. There's many different paths, there's many different teachers, there's many different tools, there's many different cultures, there's many different systems. So why did you incarnate to the United States of America, which is considered a melting pot where you have the liberty to practice any type of spirituality, strictly designed for African spirituality? In my humble opinion, but accurate, you would have incarnated to Africa. If you were strictly supposed to deal with the European culture, more than likely you would have incarnated to a European nation or whatever. If you're in the United States, especially, there's a lot of freestyle spiritualists here. That's the reason why this book, Deity Linkage Manual, does well. Because it's not African, it's not European, it's for anyone or whatever. I have two deities that represent Africa on my altar, and I have a deity that's from India. African and India on my altar, and I burn ancestor money. So the simple short answer is no, you don't have to burn ancestor money. You do whatever you want, it's your altar. Grandmother, hold on. All right, I lost that one. Sorry, we have to ask that one again. Um, is it true? Okay, is it true only the gods can make you a Sri master? I never understood how that works. One thing you're asking me, but I would say you need to speak with someone who takes on that designation. Me personally, you'll never see me call myself a master, Sri, Mister Nothing. I'm just Ali or whatever. So that's a tough question. From my experience, I haven't had the gods do that. I've had the gods kind of elevate me and let me know who I was, you know. But that kind of thing, I think, once again, this is from my personal experience, and I use Father Dr. Mitchell Gibson, Master Gibson. He said, I remember him vividly saying he knew he was a master when everyone started calling him master. At this point on my path, I've had countless people refer to me as Master Ali. It's one of those things where I don't think you can force anyone to view you as a master. I think people are going to come to you and associate that title with you based on your experience, based on what you taught people, whatever. My favorite comedians is Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah. Look him up if you aren't familiar with him. Well, he's a biracial cat and he grew up in South Africa. He's from South Africa and he grew up as a biracial dude. If you know anything about apartheid, you couldn't mix races like that. So he has a very unique vantage point of reality. Comedy special. He was talking, he made a skit about how Great Britain went to India and kind of took over. And he was like, in the skit, he said, "Why do you call yourself Great Britain? Isn't that a little presumptuous? Shouldn't other people say, oh, look at Britain doing good things, and then they call you great?" And I kind of have that same standpoint. I don't personally believe that you should call yourself great or call yourself this. Let other people do it. Because once you say that a deity or God said it, like, how are you going to prove that on that? But to each their own. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. But it also makes you appear more significant, like changing your name. Not even saying Master or Shri or anything like that, but if you change your name to Ahmad, Ahmet, Allah, or something like that, that may hold a little bit more proof that you are who you are. Regular name is still and dressing in t-shirts and coming across very regular. To a great extent, that kind of hurts my position as a spiritual teacher, quote unquote. But me personally, I don't care about all of that. Okay. You mentioned in one of your videos that you received a visit from an off-world interdimensional being. Any recommendations on how to initiate contact? Thank you. Um, Usually, from my experience, I'm only speaking from my experience on this one. Main extraterrestrial contact, one that I've continued a relationship with. So, from what I was told from that relationship, you're already connected to your intergalactic or your star family, so to speak. You're already connected to them. Came to Earth to do. Once you get to a certain milestone or certain crossroad, that's when they sure to reveal themselves to you. Parents, my consciousness evolved to a point where I was able to receive contact from them, which further continue after my initial contact, my own personal evolution. So me personally, I didn't do any rituals or do anything like hard body to try to make contact. So I can only speak from my experience. The best thing that I would recommend for you to do is do as much work that you feel like is in your heart that you need to be doing, and make sure that they view you as an asset. Active beings, or even deities, angels, they usually work with people that are doing something, have a calling, because they're not going to materialize and come here and change the world. What they do is work with people who can change the world. That's about all I'm gonna say about that. What would you say it means if fire goes across your altar but doesn't burn anything? Depends on what you were doing. I don't have any. A lot of stuff is in context. So when did it happen? What were you doing? But if you say you were doing a ritual that involved fire, confirmation. Say you were doing like some sort of prosperity ritual or something like that, and you had that happen. Me personally, I would take that as a confirmation. But I would look at the context. What were you doing when that happened? Is it normal to dance during meditation? When I go into deep trance, my body dancing is and it is amazing. Is that weird? Hell no, that ain't weird. If you look at a lot of African culture and a lot of indigenous cultures, when they did rituals, trance, when you hear the drum beat, the you hear all that, you know what I mean? You hear that rhythm. Whenever you get into a rhythm, that's going to induce a trance or whatever. So dancing is another way of getting into a trance, and a lot of indigenous cultures did that. So yeah, that's very normal. There's two types of meditation. There's uh, still meditation, then there's moving meditation. Yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, or even dancing, that could be viewed as moving meditation. After up for months and I feel like I made no connection, what else can I do? I would make sure that you're being very regular with your offerings and your prayers. Altar is in the best spot in your crib. The way I say it is like put your altar in the most respectful place. I want to say my last video, 2 or 3 videos ago, important tips for beginning your altar work. You may want to check that video out. If you're not being regular, being consistent, giving enough offerings, saying enough prayers, that's usually enough to make sure you're good. I promise you. Doing it for months, or you could be looking for something that is deeper than your confirmation. Say you've gotten a confirmation, but it may not have been good enough for you. That may be something else. Do is go to your altar, ask the ancestors humbly. Please give me a sign within 24 hours that you're receiving my offerings, that you're connected with me. Just go to the altar, ask from the heart. Give me a sign within 24 hours. You're open to however they give you the sign. That's the key. Ask for a sign within 24 hours. Um, Side note, I've done that for every spirit, every deity, every connection in the spiritual world that I've made. I've always got a confirmation. Even when I know that for real is on point, I still get a confirmation. Okay, yeah, this is getting a little bit deep now, yo. Explain how to take old food from your altar and give it to the tree as an altar. Give it to the tree as an offer. I'm assuming just take it off your altar and give it to the tree. Just do it the same process, man. You just offering from my heart, say whatever you want to, and just leave the offering at the tree. So we overcomplicate things, man. We super overcomplicate things. This spiritual thing is very simple. It's all about coming from your heart, being humble, of a light to you, being lighthearted. Simple stuff. What I see a lot of people doing is over intellectualizing things, and that's why I made a video versus searching. That's why I made a video, the symptoms of over miss or overload. These are things that are prominent or whatever. Displaying reincarnation, what color would I come back to? Reincarnation is you coming back into a body. Your soul takes many different forms. Planet Earth is not the only planet that you can incarnate to. But I don't want to get too deep because there's parallel realities. Your soul encompass different planets, solar systems, and stuff like that. I don't want to get too kind of spooky or whatever, too far too in depth. But as far as incarnating into a body, let's just use Earth for an example. Incarnate on Earth, what I've noticed with people, you will have some gifts that you have, but you also have certain lessons that you need to learn or whatever. From my experience, because I have verified at least two of my past lives. One past life, I was in Europe. I was a dark European. One past life, I was in Asia. This lifetime, I'm a so-called African American or melanated human being in North America. So I had three lifetimes where I was in Europe, Asia, and America. So my point is, you're going to incarnate to whatever vessel that you need to in order to accomplish whatever your soul's goal is. To connect with people like myself, like I do consultations. SLEMyers.com, click on 101, you can have a consultation with me. Past life things do pop up. But more importantly, I'm able to help people learn what they came here for, what lessons they had to learn. Why did these things happen to them? Why did they choose this mate? Certain things is based on your soul's evolution, it's not based on one lifetime. That Big John. You said it's his humble teachings that drew me. I appreciate that. A lot of people say that, bro. Yeah, let Trevor know it's the truth, man. I can already explain that. Thank you for that. Your answer are very authentic. I appreciate that. I try my best. That's another reason why I want to do this Q&A. I don't have any notes. I'm not Googling anything. A lot of times we're asking people that aren't qualified. If you ask a person email, messenger or something, they can Google their answer or whatever. Do something that's very authentic. You hear me stumbling through words, it doesn't matter. Long as the information resonates with you. That's the thing about being divorced from your ego. I'm not worried about how I'm coming across or if somebody's feeling this or if I'm giving the correct answers. I answer to the best of my ability. That's why it comes off authentic because it's truly from the heart. I'm not trying to gas you. Do the ancestors know if you have changed your name or go by another name other than the one on your birth certificate? Short answer, yes. All right, hold on. God, dog. Hey, what's up, Renee? How you doing, sweetheart? Yes. Is it a limit for how long you should keep your offering on your altar before you remove them and put fresh offering up? Replace the old offering with the new offering. If you're giving an offering every day, then your ancestor altar or deity altar is always going to have fresh food. Me personally, I don't bury the food. I don't eat it. I just throw it away, man. Simple process. Take the old offering, throw it away. Put a new offering on. Throw it away. Put the new offering. It's the same process. But if you feel a need to do elaborate rituals and stuff, then do you, boo boo. But the rule of thumb is you don't want anything to spoil on your altar. That is something I'm big on. Don't let food spoil on your altar. We'll give a little warning for that. What exactly is a tree? Some people just like to give an offering to the tree, just like tree huggers. They're connected with nature and stuff like that. The thing about trees that most people don't know, or each tree communicates with the other tree. So when you look at all the trees, they're communicating with each other. So you give an offering to one tree, it's like giving an offering to all the trees. Another little plus degree, there's a reason why they went hard body on tearing down trees, especially in the Amazon. You know what I mean? Not gonna get too big into the conspiracy theory, but my thing is, it ain't a conspiracy theory if it's true. The shamans in the Amazon have connected and worked with the trees for eons or whatever. Men, especially like European invasion and people that are like big corporations, whatever you want to call it, big government, big brother, whatever, they have gone and tore down the trees. This is a fact. So when you put all those things together, there's a reason why they're doing that. More than just to put up buildings and stuff like that. Connection to your spiritual roots harder. That's the reason why they don't want you having an altar. That's the reason why they don't want you practicing spirituality on your own. If you live in the US and you want to practice spirituality, most people are going to recommend the church. They have our own altar at the crib. They have an altar at church, I got an altar. They give offerings at church, I give an offering or whatever. So we know, and they definitely know that we can do our own thing. So that's one of the reasons why they're tearing down a lot of the trees. I appreciate that, BJ. How do I get my godparents to contact me, or how do I determine who they are? I don't know what you mean by godparents. Thank you, Kenya. I appreciate your appreciation. Yeah, I'm just keeping it real, yo. Like, I just throw it away. It ain't that deep. Minty sensation after long prayer session that stayed with me all day and moved from region to region on my body. What is this? Minty sensation. That sounds like a confirmation that I would take it. After a long prayer, you had a mini sensation. Yeah, I would take that as a confirmation. Especially the way that psychic work does, because when you get a confirmation like that, there's it's a clear tasting. I forgot what the clear is called, but there's clear, I think clear gustance or something like that. But there's a clear tasting. That may not have been a physical mint that you taste. That might have been a spiritual mint that you tasted, and I would assume the latter. And the way I tell people is we all have our psychic senses in our eye. Some people get twitches and hairs. Some people get a certain feeling. Some people get color. Some people hear things, taste things, feel things. You have to know your psychic vibrations, how you pick up psychic energy. From that question and the energy around your question, that seems like a confirmation. Hey, what up? Infinite. What up? Oh, you're welcome, Mystical. Okay, okay, hold on. Where do newbies begin? The information can be overwhelming. Where do newbies begin? I make videos, but it's one of those things where I can reference you to 20 different pieces of information for beginners. But at the end of the day, all of it's not going to resonate with you. Simplicity in my answer. You just want to start out with whatever resonates with you, man. Like if you're into crystals, then start with there. If you're into chakras, start there. If you're into altar work, start there. But don't get to a point where you're studying 20 million things and not applying anything. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. But from my experience, most people don't feel like they're growing by just studying. So one of the traps for people that are new is they get into this information overload. So my suggestion is take something that you're interested in, depth on it, get all the answers you can, apply the information, start to gain experiences, and then that's going to be imprinted on your soul. Then you'll notice growth from that, and then you'll see that formula works for you. For me, I was all over the place. Then I got to a point where I was more tunnel vision. So I went hard body and numerology. What came out of that is I'm a master numerologist. You feel me? Like I know numbers because of my study, my application of it or whatever. Then I went to astrology. I did chakras, universal laws, ancestor altar work, dream work, meditation, intuition, crystals, spiritual tools, medallions. Started all these different things. And then I went very in depth on it. But because I'm came here to be a spiritual teacher, I became very well rounded on a lot of different things. That's why I can have sessions like this and answer questions from a myriad of topics under metaphysics because of my study and experiences. So just go wherever your heart's leading you to, man. Leading you to. My aunt and Toth are considered husband and wife. If you notice that deities comes in pairs, there usually be a goddess and a goddess, and they're usually quote unquote married. But this isn't like marriage as far as like in our reality or whatever. Marriage as far as deity is showing the masculine and a female component that represents the whole. It's kind of like yin and yang. You got a masculine and a female component, but it's just one. When you look at yin and yang, it's not yin by itself, it's not yang by itself. It's yin and yang together representing a circle. So Ma and Talk are like that. It's just the masculine and feminine making up the one. Thank you for saying study. You must know your craft for sure. Ancestors or deities are present on your altar, especially if the altar has been up for 2 weeks. How do I know if I'm being heard? You can do what I just suggested earlier. Go to your altar and ask for a sign. Want a sign from? Say it's Tahuti. You can be like, Tahuti, I'm humbly coming to you to give me a sign within the next 24 hours, showing that you're hearing me, that you're connected with me, whatever you want to say. But something simple as that is usually enough. Like I said, I've done this numerous times and it's worked every single time. Done it with angels, ancestors, and deities. At least those three different types of beings. Usually, bad spirits will have a smell, especially demonic, a big a smell with them. So Soraya is actually that's my business partner. She's actually on Facebook, and we're about to do the radio show again. Myself, Sunset Ray, and Jukes or whatever. So we'll be back on the air as well. Yeah, you can burn whatever you want to, Shaw. I do both. I burn so-called real money and ancestor money. Do deities, angels have a spell? If they want to give you a smell, yes, but no, nothing definite as far as the deities are going to work with your consciousness. Like I said, however they see fit. Smell, they'll give you a smell, but typically, no, they don't have a smell that this is Tahuti smell. This is Oshun smell. Yes, they have combination of herbs and stuff. You can make oils for them, but as far as them, as far as energy, no, energy don't have a smell like that. They can manifest a smell. That's different. My ancestors have revealed themselves to me through a protection ritual? There's no limit. Yes, they could. Yes, they could. The video, y'all. And if any more questions, hey, what's up, Monica? Any more questions? Go ahead and ask it. I know it's a bunch of. I ain't trying to go back through all of that again. So last round for any questions, and I'll make sure I address it for you. Apparently, our ancestors look like reptilians. What are your thoughts on that? I don't have any thoughts. I have a knowing. The ancestors I met in the spirit world, my ancestors, they didn't look like reptilians. Are considered extraterrestrial. There's a reptilian, or reptilians are considered interdimensional beings, or they're considered trap beings, depending on where you get your information from. That's a complete and different topic than your ancestors. They don't look like reptilians. I would love to chop it up with you on a 101. SILEMyers.com, click on 101. Some people sign up for a consultation just to ask me questions. Me personally, I wouldn't recommend that. But if you have personal questions that you don't want to share out, you know what I mean, everywhere else, like, you know what I mean, you can do that. But I mean, I offer 101, but like I said, I charge 200 an hour and 100 for a half hour. So if that's something you can afford and you're interested, then do that. That's fine. But other than that, you can always reach me on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie, at this point, I can't answer every email very quickly. You know what I mean? But I do the best I can. Actually, the last person that signed up, she actually signed up for two consultations. She wanted me to do an investigation on a murder that took place, and also she had questions on her own or whatever. But like I suggested to her, she just wanted to ask me questions or whatever. So I mean, that's what you want to do. That's fine. What is mugwort and how does it work? Mugwort's a herb. Herbs can be used either smoking it, drinking it, combining with other herbs, making a mojo bag and place it under your pillow. Just look up how to use herbs. Get a herbal dictionary, herbal Bible. I think Scott Cunningham has one that's popular. But mugwort, me personally, I love mugwort. Mugwort is like a psychic spiritual herb. So for a while there, I was smoking mugwort, gotu cola, and Kalia Zakatachichi. I just gave y'all a jewel. Mix it, smoke it, or drink it. You're welcome. Hey, what's up, Kendall? What's up, my brother? One love to you, my dude. How to work lodestones? What are lodestones? Do they have a different name? How do you feel connect? How do you feel connected? How do you feel connected to the Most High? Or are you asking me how do I feel connected to the Most High, or how do you feel connected to the Most High? I'm not sure of the question. Usually, people feel connected to the Most High either through a spiritual practice or a religious practice. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're more than likely going to fall into the spiritual category. The way I started to feel the Most High or the Creator or God with a capital G is from really getting deep into my spirituality. Many different occasions, I've had a lot of experiences. I've had so many experiences that I can't act like the ancestor deity, the spiritual world. I can't act like it's not real because from my experience, it's more real than 3D reality. Experience, I started to see the creator in everything. Like it's hard to look at the universe and the geometry and the mathematics, the Fibonacci sequence, or whatever and not see that it was created or designed as such. Every Monday comes every 7 days. The sun rises, the sun falls. The seasons come mathematically perfect universe. And just from a simple logical standpoint, if you can't see that someone created this, there's not enough convincing you can do for someone. But for me personally, the more I got into my spirituality, having experiences, true spiritual experiences, I knew that there was a creator for sure. How not to be embarrassed about your altar. Um, like the more you get in tune with your altar, it's going to be like a relationship. Like say this is a good example with a dude that you know for sure that your parents wouldn't be feeling or whatever. But say you've been with the dude 2 years, you've been rocking with him, you love this dude or whatever. You're gonna be less embarrassed if he met your parents. You're gonna be less embarrassed if he met people. So I would say relationship with your altar, continue the relationship, build a relationship, and it's just like your boyfriend. You ain't gonna be embarrassed by him. You know, when I did my altar, because I'm not like that, because I'm coming from the cloak of I wish somebody would say something. I hope they don't. You know what I mean? I invite that or whatever. So when I put my altar, especially when I was still in that debative, confrontational, defensive mode, man, I was hoping somebody came to my crib and said something about the altar. I had one person that asked me about the altar, and I told them, we eat, my ancestors eat. Next question. They didn't ask me nothing else no more. So I wasn't embarrassed. I was honestly, because I was confrontational then, I was looking for somebody to disagree with me or say something. What is the reference to the number nine you use? Just my favorite single digit number. Well, people start seeing spirits if they start using an altar. It's possible, but more than likely not. If you have enough psychic gifts, you would usually see like or something like that before or after you give an offering. But for most people, they're not going to experience anything like that to you in a dream. Oh, you're welcome, Shane. I thought you had a question. I'm reading that. You just want to thank me. You're welcome. Hey, everybody, you're welcome. You ain't got to thank me no more. I appreciate it. I really do. But I'm really looking for questions, and I'm about to wrap it up. So I appreciate all the love, all the support. Truly appreciate, break bread with us. When you need some crystals, go to l9shop.com. If you need a book or something, like support my efforts, support our business. That's the best way of saying thank you. I appreciate it, but I'm honest, that's the best way to thank you. Or whatever. I'm completely sovereign. This is what I do. So I don't clock in for nobody or nothing like that. So the best way to thank me is by supporting our efforts. So welcome to everyone. I appreciate it. I'm adopted. Does my ancestors change? No, your ancestors are your bloodline. Your ancestors are your bloodline. Your adopted people, they're usually part of your soul group. Completely different. Does heaven exist? Heaven exists, but not in a way that the Bible and Christianity depicts it. Called favorable places in the afterlife, and there's what we call unfavorable places in the afterlife. Like our reality now, there's good neighborhoods and there's bad neighborhoods, and look at it as far as dreams. There's bad parts of the astral realm, the astral realm. So heaven and hell, quote unquote, are the same way. Whenever you transition, there are spots that you can put yourself in hell, and there are spots you can put yourself in that are considered heaven. But heaven exists, but not in the sense that religions try to teach you it exists. Think someone have worked roots on my family. How do I reverse that? I wouldn't address that over this air. I'm sorry. That's something you definitely have to speak with me one on one about. Dream work is not one of my strongest gifts. Let me say it like this: we all astral project. Whenever you call a dream, that is literally astral projection. Astral projection. They're talking about being lucid or aware that they're astral projecting, or projecting themselves when they're not asleep. That's different. It's not one of my strongest spiritual gifts. But have I astral projected? Yeah, we all dream. But the difference with me is I can get a snip of a dream and get a lot from it. I'm very rarely get dreams where I can't decipher it. So that's probably the main difference with me that I've seen with a lot of people. Yeah, but as far as conscious astral projecting, I'm not qualified. I know other people that are way iller at conscious astral projection than me. So I wouldn't speak intelligently about that. I got one of my best friends, Chris and Light, and many of y'all know him or whatever. He's big into astral projection. Him and his wife, Divine Queen, Star, get him on a live with me, and that'd be a great question to ask him. Did you ever have difficulty doing mundane tasks or dealing with reality when you began on your spiritual path? Very much so. When I was having my Kundalini awakening on a path or whatever you want to call it, um, I didn't care about nothing. I didn't shave, bills that were past due. I didn't work. I just didn't care. And when I woke up, I went crazy. That's why I know the information alone can drive you crazy. I once heard Brother Pooh way back in the day on his radio show. I forget the name of his radio show, but Brother Pooh, astrologycoach.com. Shout out to Pooh. I'm actually in the 12 Lung Fund, something they started. You donate $13 a month, bills or whatever. And the kicker is they pay your bills. So I got hit. They hit me with $100 something a few days ago or whatever. So I definitely rock with the 12 Love Fund and love the brother Pooh, myastrologycoach.com. But I remember, I forgot why I brought that up. Hold on. Okay, I remember him saying a while back that you can literally go crazy off information alone. And from my own experience, I was there. I was at a point where if I didn't wake up, quote unquote, and realize I had a body, I might have checked out. I was going crazy, yo. I was going crazy. Having experiences every day, building connection with different beings, angels, synchronicity out the butt, ghosts of spirit. I mean, so many different things. So many different things. It literally, based on the information that led to experience, when I first woke up, when I was crazy, I was very crazy. So, yes, it can. Doing mundane things, it can be very difficult if you're a hard body on your path. I would say yes. What's the best reference to interpret your dreams? A dream dictionary. Or no. You keeping your own dream journal. The best reference for interpreting your dreams is you waking up every goddamn morning and writing down your dreams. Then going back and seeing what was going on in your life. How did that relate to the dream? You'll start to see different patterns once you write down your dreams. Dictionary, a flower is going to mean one thing to a person, but it's going to mean something completely different in you. What dream dictionaries do is they give you a general symbol of a dream. From my experience, I've never used a dream journal. And like I said, I can have a dream that's 2 seconds. I can extrapolate a lot of information from it. That ability based on writing down dreams and studying my dreams. Times as I'm waking, I felt intense vibration like scanning a high buzz. Can you provide an insight on this? Many people report leaving and coming back to the body hearing a pop or whatever. That's more than likely what you're experiencing. For whatever reason, a lot of people hear a pop when they're entering a body or leaving a body. Yeah, I'm not doing any personal birthdays or something like that. I was thinking about doing another live where I had people put their birthdays, but this ain't the day. You become closer to ancestor altar. Can't say it enough, man. Thank you for your support, Kate Carr. And once again, that wasn't a ploy to have people support. I'm just saying, if you really appreciate me by supporting, my workings or whatever. But if you don't, it's not. You don't have to. You can come here and just get the information. Put an offering on your altar. Do you need to perform a ritual? I would say at minimum, you need to light a candle and say who it's for on your altar. I'm only explaining to you what I've done and what I've suggested other people do, and based on my experience and the experiences of others. For psychic abilities, any crystals that resonate with the brow or third eye and a crown chakra. These crystals are either be white or purple. Continue this knowledge. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna do some more Q and A's if that's what you're asking. What is the significance of number six? Just look up number six. Six represents responsibility, love, compassion, taking care of things, creativity, beauty, finances. In a sense, it just depends on what it's in reference to. But you can just Google what number six or whatever. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just being honest. Recently, I saw a blue, glittery, glimmering light, almost like a galaxy in my hallway. It was extremely calming. My research tells me it was an archangel. Um, if you're comfortable with that, which I don't think you are, you wouldn't ask the question. Because if you know something, you don't ask the question. I know today is Wednesday. I'm not going to ask you what today is. I know today is Wednesday. So, with you asking that question lets me know that there's still doubt there. I'll put it like this: um, there's there's um there's holes and openings from our reality to the higher world. That's why sometimes you can see shadow beings, you can see lights glimmering, you can see all kinds of different spiritual phenomena because it seems like things from the higher dimension can glimpse in or slip in when there's a certain astrological thing going on, a certain thing. It's a lot of different variables. You could be sitting on a ley line, it could be a certain portal that's being activated. Somebody can rearrange things in your area that you live in that causes a different portal to open. Like, they're just different portals. There's all kinds of different portals within the world. So you can have things that slip through that portal and appear in our reality. It could be a glimpse of a light. It could be you see a being or whatever. Hard to explain all the time from other people's experience what that could have been could be tied to the angelic realm, but I can't conclusively tell you that. If I spoke with you and I heard the energy in your aura, energy in your energy, I can probably tell you for sure that was an archangel. Be, but I can't say conclusively that it was. A couple more, yo. I'm gonna ask the question: is sleep paralysis the spirit leaving and coming the body? Sleep paralysis usually happens when you come back in the body. Paralysis usually comes back happens when you come back in the body. And the science behind that is because you haven't got all your soul in. The soul is what energizes the body. You want to replace soul with spirit, then do you. But the soul is what energizes the body. So if all the way came back in, you could be conscious, but not enough energy to activate the body. That's why you may experience voices, different beings. You feel like you're not alone. It's because you're half in the dream world and half in this world. But the answer to your question is usually when you come back in the body. How against psychic vampires, people, etc. I recommend a medallion on tybro.com, tybro.com, called the Angel of Sanctification Medallion. Angel of Sanctification Medallion. From my experience, until I make my talismans available, I'm working on creating talismans and making them available for the public. But until then, I recommend the talisman, the Angel of Sanctification Medallion on tybro.com. On where you don't have to worry about protection. When is your next appearance on Brother Panic Show? I mean, whenever I hit them up, you know what I mean? Give me an open invite, so whenever I hit them up, I can probably go back on. But you notice though, you don't really see me on air. I wait for people to hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Like when I got invited to Brother Panic Show, I was the first person that didn't go to a class, didn't take Khadijah's class. Didn't get a consultation from Khadijah. Didn't take Panics class, but yet I was on the radio show. Record, you got to do one or the other before you get on there. So I consider that I'm honored and humbled that I was on this program, even though I got my own thing and I'm kind of like setting my ways. I do me or whatever. I'm not part of any groups or anything like that. So it's a testament to him just recognizing me and letting me be on there. I love Brother Panic. Go on there, guess whenever I want to. All right, how do you start sharing with? How did you start? How did I start sharing my? I made a YouTube video. I started doing you. This isn't my first YouTube channel. I don't even know the name of my old YouTube channel, but I made a YouTube channel. I just started sharing information on here. I'm still not on here for followers and get my numbers. I can, like I said, I'm very rare. I can care less about all that stuff. I really the the people looking up and saying this and that and oh I follow Ali, all that stuff doesn't appeal to me. I got on YouTube, like I said, before this channel. I got like what 15,000 plus subscribers on this channel. My first channel only got like it might got a few thousand now, but I didn't get subscribers and views all the time. But what I did was I'm going to share my. I went to with the mindset I'm going to share my information. I got to a point where I was full. I needed to get the information out, so I just shared it on YouTube. I was stumbling, stuttering, looking down. You know what I mean? I wasn't as quote unquote polished as I am now, but I just started where I was. I wrote articles. Then we did a radio show. Then it just one thing led to another. But how did I start? I just got on YouTube and started making videos, man. But that was after my first website. That was more so when I was in a conspiracy, though. I was hard body in conspiracy. I put up a site called something about truth or whatever. And there's a bunch of conspiratorial information. Is there a blockage going on when you are unable to remember your dreams consistently? Yes. Short answer is yes. Could be diet, could be lifestyle, could be sleep patterns, could be electronics in your room, could be a number of things. But yes, some sort of block. Prescription medicine, could be alcohol, could be thoughts, could be a lot of different things. Once again, that's something that you spoke with me one on one. We can kind of identify what it is, but that's I'll let the list I just stated are some of the common things. All right, let me see. I'm gonna see if I can get a simple question. Remember to thumbs up the video, y'all. L9shop.com, EL the number 9shop.com is my online metaphysical store. Also, the Spiritual Master Accelerator program. Shout out to all my accelerators. Special announcement: we had our second member since inception. I started the program August the 1st. We've had our second member to publish their book. So shout out to Chris Enlighten. Obviously, he already was an author, but he released a second book while being in the program, even though the program didn't have nothing to do with that. And Janelle, she took one of the challenges. We have a monthly target. Every month we have a target. She took last month's target and finished her book. So author is already off to the printers or whatever. So we got a lot of good things going on. Spiritual Mastery Accelerator program. If you're wanting to work with me, that's the best way and most affordable way to work with me. The nominal fee every month. Go there, read information. I don't like selling people on it. Go there, read it, listen, watch the video. If it resonates with you, I can assure you, best program to work with me. Spiritual Accelerator. Sigils. That'd be a good question to end. And then I'll ask the question for one of my books signed and delivered for free. What are your thoughts on sigils? Sigils were probably one of my first tools for magic. I love sigils. So the sigil, the reason why they work is taking something that is in your mind that you want and it's turning it into a symbol. You know anything about symbols? Symbols resonate on a subconscious level. our reality begins in the unconscious, subconscious, then it goes to the conscious. So when you create a sigil, pardon me, so when it's a way of impregnating your thoughts into the ethers very quickly. What comes about from that is usually you materialize, manifest, or get rid of whatever you want. Pardon me, whatever you want it to. So simply put, sigils expedite what you need, especially if you do it with enough energy. You follow the directions as far as you see fit, because there's many ways of doing a sigil, but you do something that resonates with your heart. Yeah, sigils are a very good way to do magic for very affordable. I need to do a video on sigils actually. So I'm about to ask a question now. I'm taking no more questions, y'all. No more questions. Sorry. For an hour and 15 minutes, just answering questions. So I'm about to ask a question to you, and this is for the giveaway. Like I said, you can either get Deity Linkage Manual, perennial bestseller on Amazon, or my latest book, Noun Purpose Manual. You can get either one, not both, one of them. Answer the question. As long as you live in the US, I'll ship this to you for free and I'll autograph it for you. So the question, let me think, based on what we've covered today. All right, we've talked about this a few times actually. What are the two primary things that I suggest for your altar? What are the two most primary things that I suggest for your altar work? First person that puts in both of them correctly, they win. That I recommend for sure to make it pop for you. And we discussed it today as well. Win. Nope. You have to get both of them correct. What two things I recommend? Yep, BJ Zeno. Offering and prayers, no more. We got a winner. Ding, 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 ding. So BJ Zeno, you get your choice between Noun Purpose Manual or Deity Linkage Manual. All you have to do is, how can I do this? Go to my website, salymyers.com. Under home, you'll see a contact button with your name and your address. And yeah, and I'll send it to you. I'll make sure we get it out to you. So yeah, go to salymyers.com. And when you go, it's the first column. You go hover on that and you'll see a contact button. Contact me through my website. Your name and your address, and I'll make sure you get it. All right. Make sure you heard me. Did you hear me, BJ? In worst case scenario, you can contact me through Facebook or YouTube, but that'd be the fastest way is through my website. Yeah, appreciate you. Okay, cool. Remember to thumbs up the video, salymyers.com, my main website, l9shop.com, our online store, el9shop.com. To join my flagship program, Spiritual Master Accelerator. Definitely look at that. The spiritualaccelerator.com, by far my best program that I've ever made for spirituality, especially for people that want to be a spiritual master. Dabbler, you don't want to be cute on Facebook. You really want. That's where you need to be. Yeah, I'm gonna do some more. I got you. So until next time, this has been Ali, y'all.